Good morning, Algebra 2. We're going to be going over lesson 64, which is on using logarithms, but for the most case, they're just referred to as logs. That's the nickname or short version. So why logs are important? Logs and exponential equations are inverses of each other. Just like multiplication is the inverse of division, or addition is the inverse of subtraction, right? Things are in pairs. So logs and exponential, they are inverses of each other. And why that's important is we need them in order to solve for the other. But we are not solving in this section. It's just practicing writing from one form to the other so you're comfortable with it. So on the left, I have an exponential equation because x is the exponent. And on the right, so this is an exponential equation. And on the right, I have a log equation. Now notice log, you'll see the word log, right? And exponential, you'll have an exponent. But notice if we label our parts in an exponential function, we have base, exponent, and this is our answer. Now when you write it as a log, notice the only thing that changed, b came first, but then the x and the y were just switched. So when you write a log, it goes base, answer, and then exponent. So it changes the way in which things are written. Okay. Another way to think of it is if you were just remember B, try to think of an acronym BAE or BAE, base, answer, exponent, or just remember that X and Y get switched. So I'm going to practice a couple with you, and then we will do the lesson practice. So, and I should also go over how to pronounce it. So if I write the log of 2, well, log 2, 8 equals 3. You would say this, the log base 2 of 8 equals 3. So that's how you would pronounce a log. You would say log base 2 of 8 equals 3. So that's how you would say it if that comes up. So I'm going to start with writing equations from exponential form to log and then working backwards. So for example, if I had 5 squared equals 25, let's practice writing that in log form. Now remember, we are going to move a couple pieces. The numbers will stay the same, but the order changes. So when I write this as a logarithm, I like to use a cursive L so it never looks like a 1. So notice here's the straight line of the paper. Your base goes below, so 5 still comes first. But I'm going to switch the 25 and the 2. So 25, 2, and the equal sign goes in the middle. So you're switching these last two pieces. 5 goes first, but then you're switching the 2 and the 25. So I would say log base 5 of 25 equals 2, because 5 squared is 25. Next one. 10 to the negative second. Now let's go over negative exponents. Negative exponents means I would write 1 over 10 squared. The exponent becomes positive, and 10 squared is 100. So let's write that as a log. You can pause my video and try it, or just follow along. So log, now I'm going to keep it the first number, so log base 10 goes below the line on your paper. And then back on the line, I would write my answer, 1 over 100 equals negative 2. So notice I switched these two pieces. Next one. So 7 to the 0th power. Now anything to the 0th power equals 1. So if I write that as a logarithm, I'd like you to try. You can pause the video and notice, try to keep it on a straight line. The only thing that drops below is your base. So log base 7. Now on the straight line, I'm going to switch the 0 and the 1. So that's 1 and 0, and the equal sign goes in between. So lesson practice is on page 459. And they want us to do exactly what we've been doing for parts A, B, C, and D. So we're just going to replicate what we've been doing. So in part A, they've asked us to write 3 squared equals 9 as a logarithm. So it would be log base 3 of 9 equals 2. Notice the exponent should be the number on the right. And so this is your answer. Part B, they'd like us to write 4 to the first power equals 4. If you want to pause my video and try to write that as a log, that'd be great. So log base 4 of 4 equals 1. So remember, the exponent is the number that should be on the right-hand side of the equal sign. Next one, part C, 9 to the 0 equals 1. Write that as a logarithm. And then D, 8 to the negative 1 equals 0.125. So write each of those and we will move on. So log base 9 of 1 equals 0. Notice we switched those last two. And then last, log base 8 of 0.125 equals negative 1. All right, moving on to the second part. The second part, I'm going to create the same 2 columns. I have exponential and log. This time we're going to work backwards. I'm going to give you the logarithm, so I think we're on number 4. I'm going to give you the logarithm and we're going to write it in exponential. So if I have log base 6 of 36 equals 2. Sorry, this should be a 6. I said 36, but I wrote a 2. I don't know how my brain does that. Okay, so now we're working backwards. If I give you the logarithm, write it in exponential. So remember, your first number that's written in the log is the first number here. So I should have 6. Now 6 to the 36th power, that's not going to make sense. 6 squared equals 36. Okay. Next one. Log base 3 of 1 over 27 equals negative 3. So let's write that in exponential form. Remember, the first number is the first number here is the first number here, 3. But 3 to the negative third equals 1 over 27. Okay, it should make sense in exponential form about what we know. The negative puts the 3 to the third on the bottom, and 3 to the third is 27. So I think that's enough of practice because you're just working backwards. We are now going to do E, F, G. So part E, F, and G. So part E gives us log base 10 of 100 equals 2. F gives us log base 8 of 8 equals 1. And G is log base 5 of 125 equals X. So we're going to rewrite each one. E, and you can pause and then check your work. We are going to actually skip part H. So E would be 10 squared equals 100. And that's all you're having to do in this section. Just practice writing from one form to the next. F, 8 to the first equals 8. And last, whoops, why did I write an L? 5 to the X equals 125. And that is it for this lesson. I'm going to go ahead and write on here what you're going to skip for homework. So for homework 64, skip numbers 15, 23, 25, 26, and 29. Sorry, this is A3. Thank you.